And with that, I'll go ahead and ask for roll call, please.
Just one moment. We're pushing out to YouTube. Thank you. Good afternoon. District 1,
District 1 here.
District 2,
Present.
District 5,
I'm here.
Corona,
Present.
Eastvale, Hemet,
I am here. Sorry about that.
Harupa Valley, Menifee,
Menifee's here.
Moreno Valley,
Moreno Valley's here.
Norco, Paris,
Here.
Wildemar.
Here.
Thank you. We do have a quorum.
Very good. Mayor Zimmerman, would you go ahead and lead us in the pledge to our nation's flag?
All right, thank you. It's always an honor to salute our nation's flag. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. Thank you, sir. All right, this brings us to the public comments portion of our meeting. Do we have anybody that wishes to make public comments for items that are not on the agenda? Not seeing any hands raised.
And we did not receive any written comments for public comments either.
All right, I don't believe there's any additions or revisions. So on to the consent calendar, so item 6A, which is just the minutes. Does anyone wish to make any changes? If not, I'll take a motion.
Move to approve District 5.
I'll second.
Paris.
Go ahead and call the roll on that. Or actually, maybe we can combine that with item 7, save us from one call the roll, if that's okay.
If that works for everyone, yes, we can do that.
Go ahead and go on to item number 7. I'll hold that. Ooh, hello. All right, item number 7, the agreement for construction management services, materials and testing. And go right ahead.
Good afternoon, commissioners. It should have a slideshow coming. There we go. So good afternoon. Yeah, I'm Bryce Johnston. I'm a construction manager for RCTC. I'm pleased to be able to present to you the request to award a construction management contract for the I-15 Smart Freeway project. Slide. The I-15 Smart Freeway project will interconnect 3 ramp metering locations extending over 8 miles on the I-15 freeway. The project will install coordinated adaptive ramp metering across the 3 ramps at the following locations: Temecula Parkway, Rancho California Road, and Winchester Road. The project will also require some ramp modifications along with the installation of advanced intelligent transportation system hardware and software. Currently, the project is about the 95% design stage. Slide. Staff received 5 proposals for this procurement process. 2 firms were interviewed, and the firm selected based upon the proposal and the interview was Answer Advisory Management. Answer Advisor Management will provide the construction management, materials testing, construction surveys, environmental monitoring during the construction phase. The amount of the contract will be $2,072,210 plus a 10% contingency of $207,221 for a total not to exceed $2,279,431.
Bryce, could you speak up just a little bit as well?
I'll try to move my mic again. I don't have a great mic. Sorry, everyone. Okay. We advertised this procurement in June of this year, and then we received the proposals in July of this year. On August 2nd, we held interviews, and today we are recommending the award of this in the committee meeting. And then at the November 9th commission meeting, we are hoping to achieve the award of the contract. The construction management contract would cover 2 construction contracts, one for the civil works and another for the intelligent transportation system. And so the first one being in late of 2022 and the ITS sometime in 2023. Slide. So staff recommends that we, RCTC awards agreement number 2231-09800 to Answer Advisory Management for construction management services for Interstate 15 Smart Freeway Improvements Project in the amount of $2,072,210 plus a contingency amount of $207,221 for a total amount not to exceed $2,279,431. Authorize the chair and executive director pursuant to legal counsel review to finalize and execute the agreement on behalf of the commission, and authorize the executive director or designee to approve contingency work up to the total not to exceed amount as required for these services, and forward to the commission for final action. That
Thank you.
concludes my presentation, and I'd be happy to answer questions.
Very good. Supervisor Spiegel, you have a question? We're not hearing you.
Can you put Muted. back up the recommendation? I find it a little confusing because you first talk about award the agreement, then authorize the chair or executive director, then it's authorize the executive director or designee, and then forward the commission for final. Okay. You know, how can we authorize the chair or executive to pursue a legal counsel review to finalize and execute the agreement on behalf of the commission, yet we're forwarding this to the commission for final action? Wouldn't the commission do that? I just think it's a little weird to have differences in that recommendation with chair, or executive director, then executive director designee, and then final action done by the commission. So I'm not sure what exactly.
I was just following, I think our template that we used on our previous construction management award, so I'd have to defer to legal counsel, I believe.
Lisa's waving her hand.
Yeah.
I'll let Aaron take it.
No, Lisa, go ahead.
Okay, so when we're doing the approvals for the staff recommendations at the committee level, this is what the committee is recommending that the commission approve. So we don't take any final actions other than the minutes at our committee level, but this is the recommendations that we're asking you to authorize to move forward to the commission, and then the commission will take the final action on these recommendations.
So why is the first part of finalize and execute the agreement, the chair or the executive director, and then approve the contingency as executive director or designee? It just, that's what caught my eye first.
This is based on the recommendations that they want the full commission to do. So they're asking the commission to, for the contingency, it would just be the executive director to approve the contingency work. Does that make sense? I'm sorry, am I misunderstanding?
Okay, so during the project, once it's working, then the approval of the contingency,
Yes.
the chair doesn't have to get out there and look at the work to approve it.
Correct.
Okay, now it makes sense. It just was not making sense to me. Sorry. Got it now.
Good. No, thank you for clarifying.
I'll move the item
Very good.
6A and 7.
Well, how about we, unless there's any, one that wants to, we can go ahead and just take 7 or 8 as well.
I knew you were going to say that. Okay.
I was just waiting to see if we had any other concerns or questions, and it doesn't sound like it. So go ahead and go, let's go into item number 8, and then maybe we'll take a motion for all 3. So the amendment for the city of Banning's fiscal year 2022-23 short range transit plan. Staff, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. My name is Eric DeHate, and I'll be providing a very brief presentation regarding an amendment request to the city of Banning's short range transit plan. Next slide, please. So included in the city of Banning's 22-23 short range transit plan, or SRTP, that the commission approved in June was state transit assistance funds, or STA funds, for 2 bus replacements and 2 relief vehicles. Shortly after the commission approved the SRTPs, the city began moving forward with the procurements of those vehicles. Unfortunately, they ran into supply chain issues with the availability of the chassis they were looking for. And they also ran into a much longer procurement lead times. With how long it would take to purchase the current vehicles that they had in their SRTP, it'll impact the purchase of vehicles for the next year. So the city is requesting to move up a purchase of another bus from next year to this year. So that way it may not impact its transit services in future fiscal years. Next slide, please. As I said, this will be very brief. So staff has reviewed the amendment request and is recommending the following. Approve the $550,000 increase in fiscal year 22-23 of SCA funding allocation for the city of Banning. Amend the city's 22-23 SRTP to increase the STA allocation in the amount of $550,000 for its project number 2301 bus replacement, which is included in attachment 1. And also that this would be the forwarded a recommendation from both staff and the committee to the commission. I'd be happy to take any questions you have.
Very good. Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, just a point of clarification, Eric, on these. This is a lot like what we're running into with replacing fire engines and stuff like that. The lead time is getting longer and longer, especially on these specialized vehicles like a bus. And so they kind of need the money up front or whatever to even get it going in the procurement system. And that's why we're thinking ahead so that we won't have delays for this next one.
Yes, you are correct, Commissioner. There are a lot of the operators starting to run into these same issues, and they have to provide some money up front in order just to get it into the queue to be able to purchase the vehicles. So this is happening not just to the city of Banning, but also other operators as well.
All right. So unless there's other questions, then I'll make that motion for all 3 items, 6A, 7, and 8. And hopefully it won't be too complicated.
Doesn't sound like it will be. I'll take a second.
Second.
Go ahead and call the roll.
Thank you. I'm calling the roll for items 6A, 7, and 8. District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
Corona,
Aye.
Hemet,
Yes.
Menifee,
Yes.
Moreno Valley,
Yes.
Norco. Showing Norco on mute.
Sorry, Don, I'm using my phone. Yes.
Thank you. Paris,
Yes.
Wildemar.
Yes.
Thank you. Items 6A, 7, and 8 pass.
Very good. Thank you, everyone. Executive Director report, Aaron Hake, go ahead.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Chair. As you know, we had a full 55-hour closure of the 91 this weekend in the eastbound direction for the 91 refresh project. Our crews did an outstanding job, finished the job 13 hours ahead of schedule. So we were open yesterday afternoon. So I just want to thank the public as well as the crews. We know that these closures aren't convenient to the public, and this one in particular had greater impacts on Corona residents due to the closure being further west than the previous 2. So there were some city streets that were heavily impacted, but I do want the committee to know that our staff, included David Thomas and myself, were actually out there in person observing the situation, and David was in touch with the Corona Traffic Operations Center throughout the weekend to make adjustments as were needed. So I also do want to thank the City of Corona team for all of their work throughout the weekend. We did a full court press on local media and the LA media market, on TV and radio. And really, you couldn't escape seeing the signs on the freeways wherever you were driving this weekend to let folks know. We don't have any more eastbound 91 closures for the weekend, full weekend closures planned at this point, but we will have some westbound work coming up. So stay tuned for that in November and December. And then in January, we will need a westbound closure to take the false work down from the 1591 connector. So just stay tuned. As we have dates and more info, we will keep you informed and the public informed, just as we have with these previous closures at the same level of intensity. So again, I just want to thank everybody.
Very good. Thank you for that, Aaron. Wes, you have a comment on that?
Yeah, I just I wanted to mention, yeah, that this was particularly hard. There were some issues that I don't think got communicated very well. One, that the Lincoln Bridge was going to be closed. I couldn't find that at any location. I was getting bashed quite a bit about, because I thought maybe it was an accident or there was some other reason for it to be closed. And then couple that with the OCTA doing maintenance on the toll lanes going in the westbound direction, it created all kinds of havoc. And it would be great to try and coordinate between the two. And if we have, other closures that are off the freeway, that we communicate them very clearly, because, I got people that were stuck, and then there was work going on in off of First Street in Norco. And so folks got off the freeway, tried to come up Corridon, and then the Army Corps had closed Rincon, so they couldn't get there, and then they were backtracking. So it was more complicated than it needed to be. And I know we don't control anybody else's closures, and I'm bummed to hear that we have 3 more, but I understand why. But we just need to do a better job of catching what everybody else's closures are at the time, so we can at least tell people. I think that the traveling public has been pretty resilient and managing, how to get around, but this was made a little harder. Second, if the sooner we get those dates, the better. I know that there was some considerable effort to make sure we didn't have closures during shopping season on the 15 and some of the other places. If the soonest you guys get those dates together and we can at least hear them and try and communicate them, the better. Because like I said, it created I think much more drama than it needed to be created, and I'm happy this is getting done. But we got to find a way to make it as least impactful as possible. That's it. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and go on to commissioner comments. Does anyone have any commissioner comments? Supervisor Hewitt, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I just wanted to mention that last week we had a meeting down in Corona with Congressman Calvert and his other buddy on the Resource Commission, Congressman Westerman from Arkansas. And of course, Aaron was there, and let's see, so was Wes. And we came to the conclusion that the only thing holding us up on all this is bureaucracy. So I think we had some good conversations. Hopefully they know that we need to work on a lot harder. We had the general, the just retired general that was head of LA area for the Army Corps of Engineer and such. So as General Toy, it was a very interesting meeting. I got a lot out of it. Hopefully this will move us forward, because it was really going over all the licensing, especially, and Aaron was there representing RCA, did a good job. But we heard some good stuff from both Wes and Dr. Rom, who are kind of in the business of a lot of these reports and stuff. And hopefully we'll see some things going forward, because a lot of these things we're going to have the funds for, but it's gummed up in bureaucracy. So we'll be reaching out to a lot of you for supportive letters as we go on and get some of these specific projects that need our help.
I will add that Commissioner McGee did an exceptional job of highlighting the challenges and the things that are needed to help this agency. So I want to give him a big. I mean, he had 3 pages prepared statement. It was awesome. So I'm always jealous of how he speaks and his preparation. So he did this agency quite well.
Very good. Couldn't agree more. All right. Any other commissioner comments? All right. Well, thank you all. With that, it brings us to adjournment. Our next meeting will be November 28th, 2022, right around Thanksgiving. Everyone have a great week, and we'll see y'all later.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.